anyone going to Black Hat this weekend? That's a good question. Is anybody going to Black Hat? I got 13 people watching. Anybody going to Black Hat or Defcon? If you didn't know, Black Hat and Defcon is an annual cybersecurity and hacking type event where they focus entirely on information security, all the stuff we're talking about here, but they go in greater details, huge detail. So it's a huge event. Actually, let me just bring it up real quick. It's really fun. If you've never done it before, I would definitely encourage you to check it out. I've never been to Black Hat before, actually. I've been to DEF CON a couple times, and that is, it's an eye-opener. It's actually pretty terrifying, to be honest with you. It's terrifying how unsecure, how do I put this? That we as a society put so much of our information out there freely, and it's terrifying. And then the people that go to DEF CON are people who actively look for vulnerabilities and weaknesses in the systems that we put all of our sensitive information on these systems. And there's all of these very clever people who do nothing all day but try to infiltrate. And not all of them are criminal hackers, right? That was another misconception that I had. Like when I went the first time, before I went, like I had this misconception that there's going to be nothing but criminal hackers. There were criminal hackers there, by the way. It was terrifying, but absolutely terrifying. But for the most part, most of the people there were just doing it as a hobby. They find vulnerabilities, and then they actually would report it to Cisco or to Microsoft or to Linux or Red Hat or whoever, right? The problems were the organizations themselves. The very big surprising thing for me wasn't that people hack, right? For me, the biggest eye-opener was that organizations who we entrust all of our information to, our personal information, our banking information, don't do more to protect their users. That was the biggest eye-opener for me. And the pushback that some of these organizations were doing, literally attacking some of the hackers. Like the hacker would find a vulnerability. There was a big one for Cisco, for example. Cisco at the time, this was years ago. This is many years ago, and I'm sure it's been fixed. I mean, it's been fixed because it was huge. Cisco had this huge hole in their operating system. And Cisco, that's important because a lot of the U.S.'s infrastructure runs on Cisco. Cisco is the routers and switches. Basically, it's the hub. It's all the nodes of the internet. It's the hubs, all of the interconnection of the internet. Everything is based off of routers and switches. And so they had an operating system on these things that's based loosely off of Linux at the time. And it had a huge hole in it. And these professional cybersecurity people found the hole, and they reported it directly to Cisco and said, hey, Cisco, you guys should fix this. And Cisco first ignored them and then told them to shut up. And yeah, it got very ugly from there. I mean, they eventually fixed it, but there's a lot at stake, because if an organization like Oracle or Cisco or Microsoft, if a hole is found and they don't report it in time or seem like they're trying to hide it, I mean, that could really cost them billions of dollars, right? I mean, that can cost them everything. Their whole organization's based off of this. So the right thing for them to do would be to immediately respond and fix that item and tell everybody, hey guys, hey, all of our users, we have this issue here. We're working on a fix, or we've already fixed it. Here's the patch, and then send it out. Kind of like SolarWinds did. SolarWinds got hit, and they immediately did a press release, and then they started fixing it, right? I don't know if you heard about that, but SolarWinds got hacked where somebody hijacked their supply chain. So they had this site that they would put updates on this site. And so what the hackers did was they went on the site and they replaced their next update with a Trojan. And then when all of their customers went to go get that update, they had a Trojan, and it got upload it to everyone. So, but what SolarWinds did was they immediately stopped what they were doing, told everybody, hey, this is what's going on. We're fixing it right now. We're working on it. Make sure you don't use this patch. Take it, uninstall it, and then they got to work on it. So that's the right thing to do. It cost them millions of dollars, but at least they took action. Anyway, Defcon is incredible. If you have a chance to go, man, it's definitely worth at least checking out. And just make sure if you can, like, don't bring a laptop. If you do, like, lock it down, like have a firewall on it. Make sure nothing you have is in promiscuous mode. Secure everything. Encrypt your data, everything, man. Because when I was there, they were hacking people in the hotels, and they found a dude doing his taxes there. Oh my gosh. Oh my goodness. And they just spend the whole time, 3 days, just hacking each other. Hacking anyone. Anything that moves, they were hacking it. Just to show. Basically, it's like security awareness, but aggressive security awareness. Like it's like no other security awareness training you'll ever get. Like normally in the organization, they'll sit you down and they'll say, okay, make sure that if you get a suspicious email, don't click on those links. At Defcon, they're gonna find a way for you to click on that link, and then they're gonna teach you a lesson by putting your name on a giant wall, a wall of shame that they're going to show to everyone. It was incredible. It was an incredible thing that I want to do it again one of these days, because it made you realize that you're not safe. And that's I'd kind of rather know. It's one of those things that you'd rather know. I personally would rather know if I'm not safe, if I'm not really safe, right? But most people get caught off guard and they get their information stolen or whatever, and they just didn't know, right? And I think it's better to know and try to be proactive rather than reactive. It's just my take on it. Let me see. They're hobbyists more than anything. Yes, exactly. AO. It's a lot of hobbyists there. It's not all. There are some criminal hackers there, though. It's pretty scary. But there's also federal government people there. There's NSA is there. CIA is there. FBI is there. They did this thing called Spot the Fed, because people from the federal government, from all branches of the military, from all three-letter agencies, they're there hiding in plain sight. It's not like they're in there with suits or with their military uniform, right? Unless they're there to speak or something. Or they're there as a team or something to partake in one of the games, because they have capture the flag games and stuff. Anyway, they go there and they dress like everyone else, so you wouldn't know that this person works for the NSA or the CIA or whatever. You wouldn't know it. So they had this game called Spot the Fed, where they try to guess that people in the audience, I don't know if they still do that, who in the audience were actual federal agents. And the federal agents, like, a lot of times they'd be recruiting people, right? If there was a talented hacker there or something, they would try to recruit you to work for them. It's freaking crazy. Like, at least when I went there, it was amazing, terrifying, but also amazing. It's like something out of a movie. Thanks for everything you do, brother. Gotta go. You've got my sub. Thanks, man. Appreciate you.